Thank you, everybody, for joining us on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. This is Thank God It's Tuesday. And thank God it's Tuesday. This is a franchise night. We're going to bring in a little bit extra, something extra. You got a 4-shot there across the First Amendment Sports banner. Let's start from right to left. He's Tim Strachan.
Oh, man, this is going to be a great Tuesday. A lot of fun. We've been having some fun already. We're about to have a lot more. Looks like me and Chris are about to just squish the shit out of you guys. That's what big bodies do.
I'm feeling a little svelte, I'm not going to lie. I appreciate the company I'm in, but look at the way this guy is wearing that Catholic shirt. He's Kevin Ricka.
Hold on a second. I've been riding in a 57-passenger stained wood yellow station wagon since 1984. I appreciate you guys taking me back.
Yeah. Kind of look like Andy Reid on camera.
Ooh, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'm not sure. Wait, who do you do?
Yeah.
He is CJ, Chris Johnson, our good friend. Class of 94, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
The best comes from Class of 94.
That's a fact.
Pride of Gonzaga, but more so than that, our friend. DC Sports Media junkie. As I said at Hawks Haven, where we are the official Washington football team podcast. If you've been listening to sports radio in Washington, D.C. for the last 25 years, you heard his voice, you listened to his shows, and you may have heard him say a few things that made sense.
I think not only was he a part of the Pulse, I think the DC Sports Radio Pulse was taken right here in a chair right next to me. Good to have you here, brother.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much.
We find ourselves on Franchise Tag Day. It's Franchise Day, and let's just get right to it. Washington football team franchised Brandon Sheriff. We've been calling for it. It's not a mystery. It wasn't a surprise. It is a little bit of a race for him. Going to be about $18 million, 1 year of work. He's 29 years old. He's missed some time. He's also first-team All-Pro for the Washington football team. I got to keep reminding myself to say the right things, CJ. He's a good player, and we need good players on the offensive line. $18 million on a 1-year deal for a first-team All-Pro guard. Guess what? That's called we call that an IQ test where I come from, and I think we just passed it. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this one. We got a good player that we drafted who's coming back and playing for us. Across the league, though, some things have happened that have changed the landscape of what's about to happen next week in terms of free agency, and I think we'll dabble there before we get into what we really came here for, and that's to talk franchises. On Franchise Day, we are going to talk franchises. I know the board is excited about it. Get ready to suggest and nominate your favorite franchises. And I'm not talking just about sports. I'm talking about all franchises. We're going to cover them. Restaurant franchises, convenience store franchises, movie franchises, toy franchises, diner franchises, whatever you got, bring it. I know there's a couple people out there who have already been hitting me up all day today with some pretty good ones. I'll tell you, but I figured the best way to get CJ wrapped up into what we've been doing the last few weeks is to ask him 3 quick questions and get 3 quick answers.
And
then we're going to jump right in.
I wanted to ask you guys about Brandon Sheriff first.
Oh, you want to stay with Brandon Sheriff?
Yeah. I think you kind of glossed over it. I think there's a little bit of a discussion there, don't you think?
Well, sure.
I'm more than willing to engage in a 10-second discussion of my opinion.
Yeah, what do you got, Kev?
Well, I just think that, don't you think that there's a question of why didn't they get a long-term deal done
Yes.
with him versus the franchise?
It would be much nicer to have the long-term deal in place. I think these guys are right that this was a smart move. I worry, though,
it's still
what it means for later. Is it still going to happen? How many times does somebody get franchised twice and stay with that team?
Never.
He came out last year and said this. This was his quote at the end of the year. Ron Rivera is the greatest human being I've ever met in my whole entire life. Ron Rivera should be my dad. I wish he was my dad. You guys are picking up what I'm laying down.
But Ron's not paying him.
Ron's making the choice.
Oh, Ron's paying him.
Who gets that money? I don't know. If you want to track down who's paying him, you can have that conversation. He's deciding who gets paid. So he is paying him. The check might not say Ron Rivera, but there was another check written with his name on it for that duty. We got a dude who I believe plays his position better, almost better than anyone on the roster. I think Chase Young and Brandon Sheriff, you could say, hey, just go watch the tape. Go click it. Look at Brandon Sheriff. Watch a game tape.
Yep.
He's a man amongst boys. And when you notice that and realize that, it's contagious, and we got a couple things happening on the front, I love it. And I think it gives us plenty of time. Maybe Brendan Sheffer just on vacation, wants to come back. He loves it here. He's making plenty of money here. 33 in 2 years.
He wants
I think
to
it's
play.
worth it. Why do you pay those contracts? So they play that money.
He's interested in a long-term deal, but I think this is step one of getting a long-term deal done. Anytime you go down the road with somebody who's already got the franchise tag once, we've seen it already. We saw it this year with the Dak. We've seen it before with Kirk. That franchise number is essentially the market setter for his contract. So it's like $18 million was always coming to him no matter what. So get it, not lock it down, and then it drives the guaranteed portion of any contract he's going to get, and it probably dictates to some extent his annual value per year of a contract. So I didn't think he wasn't and I guess the other thing is the fact that he's 29 years old. His agent's probably telling him, if a long-term contract is in your best interest at this point in your career. If you can get a four-year deal, maybe a 5-year deal, that's probably better. You have a better chance of getting paid a higher annual average salary in this contract than you will if you risk it for a year or if you try to do a 2-year stopgap.
But the guard market has just
yeah.
essentially collapsed all around us. What we are understanding is everyone's highest priced guard. Guards are the first trimmed fat, from what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's been the decision.
It's
and
never
we
been.
Know we've watched it escalate over the last few years, and now it's de-escalating.
I recognize he's got injury issues in the past, and maybe that's the reason you go with the franchise tag. But otherwise, I just have concern, especially what we've seen in the past with guys like a Ryan Clark or an Antonio Pierce. And I know I'm going back a lot of years here, but it's just
not keeping our own guys.
Yeah, and I know they're keeping him. They franchised him. He's here. But I'd have preferred to see rewarding a guy who's coming off an all-pro. There's not a lot of all-pros this franchise has had in the past 2 decades. I think it's Matt Turk, right?
1996.
Yeah, that's right, over 2 decades. So, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. You're coming off with sort of the Trent Williams situation as well.
Who's available?
What's that? Yeah, he's available. Yeah, but I don't know. I would have liked to seen it play out in terms of a long-term contract for him. But
if that happens, will we be satisfied?
Would I be satisfied?
If that happens, in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
If it's just, okay, I'm here this
maybe
week.
That's the
here's
case.
Here's what the calendar suggests. Yeah. I believe that about Sheriff.
Yeah.
I'm not being naive either because I'm not going to be heartbroken, but he said it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is involved in this, because he's the first-team All-Pro guy, and it has to be with the union, is that a lot of guys are being encouraged from the union to take these 1-year deals in a year when the salary cap is down, which sucks if that's what's happening here. I have no way of knowing that's what's going on right now, but there's another TV deal coming. The pie is going to get bigger. And a lot of agents are instructing their clients to go with short-term, one-year deal in this down season and then get your big deal next season. I don't know if that's what's happening.
That's risky.
I know it is, especially for a guy who has, missed time.
Unless you're waiting for all these guys to get cut this week, T-Bird. All of a sudden there's going to be a surplus of available work.
Yeah. I also wonder, what does Washington football team do with the money that they have? Do you hold on to it?
Well, hold on. Let's get there.
Try to spend it?
Oh, you got to spend it.
Do you not want to spend it in a year where
No, you spend it.
You got to spend the shit out of it right now, pardon my language. You got to spend that the right
spend it.
way.
We're going to spend it, and so here's my 3 quick questions to CJ, and they involve.
Would you like T and I to go somewhere? Maybe Blair Witch style in the corner. We could do that.
You guys could just make the camera nice and shaky.
I'll just slide back casually.
Number 1 free agent target.
Well, I would have said Allen Robinson, but he just got franchise tagged by the Bears today.
All right. So that's good. That Allen Robinson, I will accept that. Would have been Allen Robinson.
That was mine.
Number one guy outside of Brandon Sheriff that you want to keep of our own guys.
KPL. Oh, sorry.
That are free agents this year? Sorry. Oh, give me a couple. You should have prepared me for this.
Sprinkle? You want to keep Jeremy Sprinkle?
No.
I think KPL is the answer.
Sprinkle
by the
ever
way.
do
Kevin
you?
Pierre-Louis.
I mean, Sprinkle's fine, but that's not going to cost you anything.
I like my stuff without sprinkles. It's just as delicious. It was before
fine,
4 years ago.
I've seen you eat sprinkles, CJ.
Oh, yeah. I can. Yeah, at one point they used to have those Sprinkles cupcakes down in Georgetown.
I didn't know you knew her.
Do you buy the Washington Redskins as an NFC East favorite in 2021?
Not as the roster is right now. No.
Okay.
I think that they've got a serious issue at quarterback, a serious issue at.
Do you think? Is there a quarterback out there you want? What's the quarterback move you want them to make?
Well, I'd like to see them upgrade with a veteran. Unless they see. What confuses me most is how Ron Rivera treated the quarterback position last year. Like, I still, a year later, don't understand what his plan was with Dwayne Haskins. Like, what was the purpose of that? And
Purpose of benching him or purpose of cutting him?
purpose of starting him and making him the captain.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
The captain part, good luck. That takes a different thesis.
I mean, I don't get that. And I'll give him a pass because he didn't get a full training camp. He didn't get the 4 preseason games to work with Haskins. And if that was the case, maybe Kyle Allen starts the season, and who knows what the deal is with Alex Smith. I don't know. But my point is, is it Ron Turner? That was
Scott Turner.
Ron was Norv's brother.
Yeah.
There was a defensive coach, coached Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah. Scott Turner. I always call him Norv. I don't know what Norv's. My guess that Norv would want to go with Kyle Allen over Taylor Heineke.
I believe that as well.
So those are your 2 quarterbacks. Who's your third? Steven Montez.
Montez.
Hold on. We have the best number 2, 3 quarterback in the NFL right now. There's so many different ways to look at this.
So CJ, where I think we've been so far is that you get to day 1 of Ron Rivera, and it's the first true rebuild we've ever been through as Washington fans. They've told us we were rebuilding, but we were never actually rebuilding with Vinny and Bruce and Snyder. And so, you start Dwayne Haskins because you're rebuilding. You put a rookie out there to see what you have. It's a see what you have year, and things went bad for that player.
Why are you guys bringing up old shit?
But what I'm saying is getting Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen as our 2 quarterbacks this year, you got to find a guy at some point. But I don't think that guy is out there for us. We're not going to be able to draft him.
We're getting a guy besides those 2.
I'm saying the guy. I think the guy is coming next offseason. I think, and so these guys will tell you I like to bore them with a top of the show thought. I don't think you build a team by starting with the quarterback anymore. I just don't. I think you build everywhere else, and then you get your quarterback, because the Dak Prescott thing is the shining light to this to my theory. You cannot get to a point where you have to spend $40+ million on a guy to save your team.
He's the only guy from his draft class still with his team.
I understand.
So
okay, so there you go.
That is not. Yes.
That proves the point.
But it proves the point that Jerry Jones couldn't cut ties with Dak. That's what it proves.
Well, but it proves,
even though his leg was going that away, he was still worth all the rest of the money for Jerry. That's how he's running his shit.
I don't
agree with that deal. We're running our
I
shit
understand
anymore.
that's not what we're running. But I'm saying what I prefer to how to build a team is to which is what we're doing. We're building everything around it, and then when you can add a quarterback and hope you got a 3 to 5 year window with a quarterback who doesn't cost $50 million.
I just don't think that you can have sustained success like that. You can catch, like, Goff goes to a Super Bowl with the Rams. Flacco wins a Super Bowl with the Ravens. Obviously, they did have sustained success. So
Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger's a Hall of Famer.
I know, but he came as a rookie and did well right out of the gate and really well right out of the gate.
But there are guys. Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl and was 5 minutes away from winning one last year. I mean, there are certainly examples, Kaepernick, of guys that have been able to get
Rich
to a
Gannon,
Super
Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, like what?
Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah, but also, are those is that the rule? Is that
no?
Which one's which? So whatever it is, how about this? Whatever the tide's coming, you better flip your coin into that water and make a wish as a GM, and pray to the football gods.
I also think it's crazy that Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees only won one Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, that's how nuts this whole thing is.
Because it's Tom Brady's fault.
You definitely got Tom Brady in there, but still.
No, it's not all Tom. Yeah,
but we talk about Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, like, these guys are not only the best now, but 2 of the top 10 maybe ever. They only have one Super Bowl win. It's good. I mean, but they've
What
had
about Dan Marino, T-Bert, in this era right now?
Yep.
If he was playing in this era, how many would he have? The franchise show is turning into franchise quarterback show. Yeah. Just saying.
And we live in a city where, our team here has won 3 Super Bowls with three
different quarterbacks.
Almost random.
And we did it the way I'm suggesting. We built a team around that you could plug in a good quarterback to get it done.
You're talking about, Hall of Fame wide receivers. Hall
of Fame defense.
Gary Clark should be in the Hall of Fame.
Gary Clark should be in the Hall of Fame.
You can harvest quarterbacks for 9 years and then have them win Super Bowls, Mark Rippon. Mark Rippon's still on the sidelines with Kerry Conklin.
Yeah, best line, 9 sacks in one season.
Yeah.
Best line ever.
Yeah.
Incredible defensive players. So, incredible coaching staff.
I think we're building that kind of defensive line right now. I think that's the kind of thing we have going on that side of the line. And I guess all I'm saying is I think this is a true rebuild. I think we are paying the price in that first year and a half of Ron Rivera and putting in a bunch of pieces in place. And I think so talking about the free agents, getting back to what who we have to be able to sign. There's some mid-20-year-old players that we can sign for 3 and 4 year deals at skill positions that will attract the quarterback we want next year. I don't think it's going to be this year.
It freaks me out because a guy like Allen Robinson, who hasn't had a damn quarterback that was worth a pot of piss ever, would have just negotiated himself into a great deal, not worrying about it. Because that's what he does. He plays in Jacksonville and Chicago. He's not worried. Nope. Yeah, that ship sailed. I don't know. Is Hunter Henry going to think the same way? I don't know.
But Hunter, I'm going. I still think Curtis Samuel and Corey Davis. Yeah, they're still available.
Yeah.
Well, spitfiring, because I want to address your question about why Ron did what he did with Dwayne, and I'm going to spitfire on that for a second. Weird year, right? Weird offseason. I think Dan Snyder had a lot to say about that and sort of maybe forced it, and maybe Ron at the early point wanted it to happen, right? I think a lot of people wanted it to happen. But here's where I think things really turned for the better for the Washington football team this year is when Dwayne fell, okay? Because I think that allowed Ron to go into Dan's office and say, enough. Let me handle this from now on. And hopefully Dan got that message because things turned around for this team and this organization when he left, okay? And I agree with Ken in that there are a lot of great pieces into this team right now. And if you can bring some other talent in, you may be able to attract the right quarterback next year because this year there is no right quarterback.
Yeah.
Who is it? It's not going to be Deshaun, and everybody else is just everybody else. They're not going to necessarily be the lightning in the bottle, I think, that the Washington football team needs. I think they're going to wait or get lucky in some way, shape, or fashion in the draft. But it's not going to be a franchise guy,
no veteran.
in my opinion, in free agency this year. It's just not there.
We like Marcus
doesn't
Mariota,
exist.
CJ. We like him, but no one in this show is saying Marcus Mariota is coming in to save this
Until
team.
the terms
But you can
change.
make it an attractive place for somebody.
What about Sam Darnold?
I don't think
He is,
Who
in my
knows?
opinion, he's the
I don't
top
know,
of
man.
the everybody
I
else.
wish I did.
Yeah.
He's the top of the everybody else because I think he has the most upside.
But he is so everybody
Because
else.
he has the least downside. Because we don't. It's just because he hasn't like. We give the Jets the big rotten egg treatment. Oh, we were the rotten egg. Us and the Jets were trading turds into different bowls for like
Yeah.
13 years. Every trade we made, it was a kicker, a corner, Santana and Lavernius. Did they switch twice? Yeah. I don't want to be trading with them anymore. I don't want to trade with them. I want to trade with the Patriots now, the Packers.
And I know that Kenny Galladay
Steelers.
did not get franchised
No,
today,
he
and I
did
understand. First of all, I don't understand why the Lions let that happen, and I just want to say, as we've talked about this for 4 straight
Because
weeks,
Jared Goff makes $40 billion. Sorry.
you can't have Kenny Galladay. I do love him. I'm
Welcome,
not here.
Goff.
I'm not
Here
here
you
to
go,
say that we
Galladay.
need him. I think if we had our druthers, if we had the ability to sign Curtis Samuel and Corey Davis for what it would take to sign Galladay, that's your 21 offense right there. Samuel
Yeah.
and Gibson in the backfield with Corey Davis and Terry McLaurin on the outside. And
But I can't get offering $100 million to goofball out of my head. I can't get it.
Goofball.
Dallas Cowboys
Oh.
were all of a sudden going to take a soft, non-physical. Curtis Samuel is a physical beast compared to this man.
Yeah.
We offered him 100. Like, that's the one thing that's happened throughout this whole regime that I can't wrap my brain around. But I like to think that means that we're going to go and get a little something right now. And with Galladay
yes.
and Henry wide open, all of a sudden, 2 perfect fits for the good guys.
Couldn't agree
Yeah.
more.
You find a compliment for Terry McLaurin to take some defensive pressure off of him, and you got 2 guys that somebody's got to deal with. You don't need a Hall of Fame franchise quarterback to be successful. You need something better than these
Mark
guys.
Sanchez.
Right.
Respected in the
But you
locker
don't
room.
have to have the Aaron
Respected by
Rodgers,
the
Tom
staff.
Brady.
Yep.
I think that's what you're saying, and
You
I
have
agree with that. But then history says something else because yes, a lot of those guys that we mentioned before made it to the to the Super Bowl, but who won it? It was mostly guys that were going to go in the Hall of Fame.
It says it right on the sheet. You're paying $5 million for 2 quarterbacks. Of course they're not your franchise guys. Of course they're not. And even if we get Marcus Mariota, he isn't our franchise guy.
It's like the claw.
Oh, at the arcade, you were just like looking to pick up a guy. So we're trying. I'm more interested in building a
We
quarterback
might not
room.
put the dollar in the machine.
Build that quarterback room. Get it done professionally for one more season because we made a move on Matthew Stafford. This is to me the instructive part of our offseason. We made a move on Matthew Stafford. Guess what? He didn't want to come here. And I get it. I want a place where the next year's Matthew Stafford wants to come. And I think we can build that place.
That's weird. I'm siding with you on this.
It is weird.
I think you actually might be onto something here.
It's weird. CJ and I are trying to figure out who next year's Matt Stafford.
We don't know.
would be.
I asked that.
No,
I
we
asked
do
that
know.
to you
Matt
guys
Stafford's played
like
for
2
100
weeks ago,
years.
and you said we didn't know that Deshaun and Matt Stafford were going to be available this year. So it could be somebody next year. We don't know.
There'd be
I
somebody.
specifically love both of those 2, and I don't know any other veteran quarterbacks I would hand the keys to my favorite thing in life to.
It's true, though. Nobody saw the Russell Wilson story
No.
coming this year.
Right.
Everybody thought he was cool in Seattle.
Come on, he is.
I don't think
cool
he's
in
going
Seattle.
anywhere.
He's still
He's not
cool
going
in
Oh, I don't
Seattle.
think he's going anywhere, but I mean,
Man, that'd be great. But apparently, Sierra doesn't want to live in D.C., so
is that right?
they didn't put it on
I
their
think
list.
he's going
I
to
didn't see
be.
that.
I think he's going to Vegas.
Yeah,
If he goes
He
anywhere.
put out
Kent-
4
Has she
cities.
seen the Kent Island scenario? She can be part of both. You are 40 minutes away.
Red Eye, Doc Bar. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that part of the
Big
world
house.
is my
Sunday
favorite.
afternoons.
Yeah.
Get me over that bridge
Yeah.
and
yeah.
let it all run off the back.
Yeah.
It's a fun time in the NFL because it's franchise day today. Free agency start next week. and then the draft is shortly thereafter. So this is it. This is when we make our team. This is when we build it. I love the idea that Ron Rivera is making all the calls, calling all the shots, and I like the idea that we have money to spend. So you got Kevin and T. You were talking at the beginning of the show. How do we spend our money? Well, and CJ, we've been talking about this a lot the last few weeks. The NFL is full of teams that have to cut guys that should not be cut, that have no business being on the street. And as a function of the salary cap staying flat to slightly down, those guys they're not demanding, they're not going to get paid like Kenny Galladay. They're not going to get paid like Dak Prescott. There's going to be good guys aged 26, 27, 28 who have 2 or 3 more years of good football left in them that Ron Rivera and a Scott Turner and a Jack Del Rio can say, man, that guy could start for us for 2 years and do exactly what we want in exactly this role. I think those guys will be available, and I think those guys will choose us. We might not get the bell at the ball this year in year 2 of the rebuild, but I do think we'll get professional football players who want to play for a man like Ron Rivera. And that, to me, is what this rebuild has been the most successful at. What was our number one problem coming in to the Ron Rivera regime? It was culture. And you could argue that with Dan Snyder still owner, we still have issues. And according to the NFL report, we might still have major issues.
Yeah,
but Ron Rivera's on the way to fixing it.
I just think you better be quick with that rebuild because those defensive linemen are going to start to come up here pretty soon.
Tick,
and you don't want to pay if you don't want to pay your quarterback, you're going to start racking up your salary cap on that whole defensive line.
I will. I'll gladly do that because to your point that you just said before, you got one of the best defensive lines in the league. You got something. You can win with that.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to fill out. If you get a bunch of stars there, and you're gonna have to pay them like stars.
But but we have the money. So we have the money right now. So the way I figure, we got 4 guys. We can pay one guy this year, and I think we will. I think they're going to figure out a way to give some of this money to maybe it's going to be Jonathan Allen. I don't know how that's exactly going to work. But again, the salary cap is going to have like a mini explosion in the next 2 years.
Guys.
Well, between Montez,
I'll be surprised if they can keep all 4.
That's what you got. You
no one
5.
can. No one can take that.
They paid Ioannidis last year.
They did. And
he's only got 1 more year left afterwards. So
the thing is, though, if you can put a Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, and Chase Young on the field, if you lose a Darren Payne, if you do, and you take a first or a second round pick on a guy and then get 4 or 5 years out of a stud guy on that defensive line, he's going to do well because he's not going to be doubled because those other guys are going to be doubled.
Well, also the culture's been set. You drafted Tim Settle. He's been around these monsters, and that's the type of guy that gets the Ioannidis deal when Ioannidis is gone. Maybe you have to start thinking about that. Everyone's so set in their ways about this front 4. There's a lot of change that we all know that. I want double jeopardy outside, to be fair, but I don't want to lose Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne. But my choice is going to be one of those 2. Right now, it seems like Jonathan Allen has the locker room. Daron Payne is a filthy warrior beast animal.
I love him.
I can't possibly. I hate when people are like, "Let's let him go." No,
I don't want to line up with that.
They'll tell you that Ioannidis is the best of those 3.
Maybe.
By the way, Kevin Ewald says, "What's up?"
Yeah,
they'll say he's the strongest of those 3.
I love that guy. We need him on the field.
Yeah.
CJ, Kevin Gahagan wants to know, is Jonathan Allen better than Daron Payne?
I don't think so. But I think he had a good – I think he's underrated. I think that people get on him because he hasn't made a Pro Bowl yet, and they think there's just, too much hype for Jonathan Allen. But I think he was pretty strong the last 8 games of last season. I think he's been solid. I don't get too much into the analytics, but I look at him, and he rated pretty highly in the Pro Football Focus and all of that stuff, down the second half of the season.
It's Captain America and the Incredible Hulk. Which one do you want? Who's your favorite Avenger?
I'm a Captain America
Because guess
guy.
what? They both get down. But John Allen has taken over the locker room scenario. He's a proud leader. He's a vocal guy. Daron Payne is just a nasty.
Yeah.
Well, let's dip our
strong
toes.
beast
You
dog.
brought it up.
Okay.
Let's dip our toes in it because it's been quite the topic of conversation. Of course, we got to hear WCAC stuff from Ewald. Eagles fly high, obviously. And just to shout out to the board, Darby is definitely another guy of ours that we should want
Bring
to keep.
him
I think
back.
he's-
Let's
Yes.
build a
He's
wall
the
around
next most
Darby.
important guy.
We
Yeah.
definitely want to bring him back. He belongs on
T-Bird,
our
this
team.
front seven is going to cause a ruckus. We don't need the guy that stick out in the middle of an island that can play. He makes plays on the ball like we haven't had
Yeah.
it, dude. He's always in the right spot. He's got the. Bring him back.
By the
He's
way,
a
I'm-
local.
I'm
He's a
calling-
local. Bring him.
I'm calling Patrick Peterson's agent and finding out what it might take to bring him here for a 2-year deal.
That's a
3-year
very
deal.
good thing to say because you're going to be hanging up in about
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I like to know what it is. I love him. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
D-backs like that have been walking into rooms just swinging it for like 30 years.
Yeah,
They're
they
not going to
have.
be like, let me get that discount. I don't think
No, that's the thing. You guys made the point. We have to spend the money. Patrick Peterson is an 11-year guy. He's going to get
I
paid,
love him.
but he's not.
I love him.
He's not getting. Yeah, I love him too.
But-
I would love to know what it takes. I just
But
want to know.
The Rick and the Ederson are gone. There's not enough left on the back end to be
but
dropping
you know what?
$6 million for
But a
You're,
guy
you're
like
gonna need
him,
a bottle of Listal right next to you when you hang up because you're gonna
a
need
guy
something.
like him though can do well with a defensive line like that.
I
Just
agree
saying.
with you 100%. I just don't think he's coming to D.C. for the Deion Sanders post-cornerback bonus.
All right, so here we go. It's franchise night on First Amendment Sports. We're talking franchises. So I'm gonna put it to ask everybody. We're gonna start on the left hand, we're going this way, and then we're gonna start on the right hand. We're gonna go this
Snake
way.
it.
Now,
It's a snake.
first franchise we're gonna talk about. Now we're talking about you're on the road, you're driving. Now it's not. You're out traveling Americana. Best on the road franchise restaurant that you want to stop and sit in and eat in, CJ.
Not fast food.
Not fast food. Just get in there, order from a waitress who
On the road again.
probably has worked there for years. Everyone knows
CJ
her.
can't get.
I mean, if it's like that,
Franchise.
it's probably Waffle House. It's probably a Waffle House.
I love it. I mean, that's me.
I'm trying to think like what else I would stop at that's down south.
That's
I'm
my
trying
number
to
one.
think
I don't
of
even have
more
to
down
answer.
south.
That's it for
I
me.
mean, you can't think of one other place
You're
you stop
bowing
at.
out.
He's a
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel guy. He's Cracker
See,
Barrel all day.
I'm not a Cracker Barrel guy.
How?
I mean, I like it, but I like Waffle House
How?
better. Yeah.
I'm a Waffle House over Denny's over Cracker Barrel. How about that?
How
I know.
about this? You must enjoy walking out into the parking lot, pulling your dungarees to the floor, and eliminating what just happened
No,
to you.
no.
Because
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel gets you right down on your route.
Yep, it does.
Please get back on the route. Yes. Sorry,
You can play the little triangle game. Are you a genius? Are you not a genius? I don't know. I have to play the game first to find out.
yeah, well, it doesn't take a genius not to figure out that after you drop $11 on breakfast, if you drop $11 in your trousers, that's a loss. That's a loss.
I can't hate. Are you gonna go? Are you really gonna just not go?
I'm Waffle House.
Okay.
Period.
I can't argue with Waffle House. I do agree with Cracker
can't
Barrel,
either.
but I'm gonna go with Hoss's.
Awesome.
On the road,
Yeah,
going
on
to
the
Hoss's.
road because everyone has a waitress, at least one named Flo.
Yep.
The cars in the parking lot look like they've been there since 1970 or early 80. Anywhere you go to one. And you know what? The food might not be gourmet, but it's damn good. And you leave satisfied. And everybody's nice. So I'm going to say
Just describe Waffle House
Hoss's.
as far as I'm concerned. We got some Denny's on there. John
They're
Tier is a
everywhere.
Cracker Barrel guy. Gahagan is Waffle House. Ewald's a Twin Peaks with CJ, obviously.
That's
and,
a good one. Except
Hey,
that's
how many hosses are on there for T-Bird? Is there a website?
I don't
Is there
see
an
a
app?
single
Is there a-
hosses at
it's
all
like Bumble.
there.
Is there a Hoss app for T?
Hey, man.
Uh-huh.
I like Hoss's.
This man would like to eat lunch with you
All right,
in April of 2023.
T, we'll start with you.
I thought we were snaking. I didn't know.
No,
I thought
no.
once one was taken, you
just-
can't
No,
take
no.
snaked it.
like
We're going
draft
horses.
style.
You get
We're
first
doing-
pick for the next
We're doing
one.
a snake, not draft snake styles.
That's
snake.
right. That's
Hey,
right.
listen, Hoss,
That makes no
with your
sense.
fake ass Tom Clark
Seriously.
mustache, whispering in the wind.
We'll
see
make
that?
these eggs the way we think you should want to eat
See
them.
that stash?
With cigarette
Somebody-
ash in them,
Every
just like I
hoss,
smoked.
every hoss is in the country right now has a stash like this in it.
Somewhere, someone's wearing that stash. Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes, it's usually on the FBI's most wanted poster that's hanging next to the door. But yes, there is a stash that looks just like that in every horse's. All right, you get first pick of this one. Now you're on
Great.
the road, high-end franchise. You got a couple dollars in your pocket, maybe a per diem. You want to get yourself a nice dinner. What franchise restaurant are you hitting?
Didn't we just do that?
Oh, dude, horses? Really? You got some money in your
Wait,
pocket
wait.
and you're going to horses?
We're on the road again.
You're on,
We're on the road again, and we got to go to another franchise restaurant. What the hell?
It's franchise night, T.
Sorry,
Spend
Hoss.
some money. Sorry,
I didn't know we were
horses.
going to have two restaurant franchise questions.
I didn't realize you're ordering off
He
the
lawyered
secret.
Are you
shit out
sitting
of
down?
this.
the
Are we
leather-covered
including?
horses
Watch them.
menu?
Are we
Are we in the
including
corner?
fast
Is-
food here?
No,
Is
no,
the
dude,
waitress
high end.
generally
High end.
obese or
And
High end franchise. There's some good high end franchises out there. You're a
you
gentleman
mean like Fridays?
with a mustache like that. You must be a gentleman.
That's high end.
exactly?
What is he talking
All right,
about?
you know what? I just don't know if we can go anywhere from Fridays.
Get the high end, low end, medium end stuff. That's really confusing.
I really,
our
when
lawyer.
you say on the road and deliciousness, I love Sonic, but you took fast food out of it.
Well,
You
it's
said
not-
high end. Like if you got to burn your whole
CJ,
per
give me a
diem.
high end spot.
If you got to burn your whole per diem.
What's a high-end franchise?
Like Ruth Chris.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes, so they're all. See,
I like that.
now
Sounds
you've gotten it. You got some
expensive.
money. It is
But
expensive.
you don't go there on the road.
That's
you go there when you
high-end.
get to your destination. How many
lot
Ruth's
of
Chris
people go
are
there on
off
the
of
road.
95?
Get Hagen, gets Morton's,
Without
Greg
your
Martin's a
mustache.
Farvis guy. I mean,
I don't know what Ken's saying. I think you're
I think
saying
it's
like
Ruth's.
if you got some money in your pocket, and
yeah,
you want to
get a
burn
steak.
your per diem, and you're out on the road. Yeah,
Go to Ruth's. I think it's Ruth's.
Just stop slapping yourself in the face with hot dogs from
Yeah,
fill up stations
Sonic's
up and
delicious.
down the East
Dude,
Coast.
all right.
I've done a lot of
Yeah,
traveling,
good
gentlemen.
question. You have a
in
lot of
car,
great questions, but
Let's change
and
it
I
up.
don't
Let's change
stop
it up.
at Ruth's Chris. I'm sorry.
We're gonna stay somewhat food
I would love to stop at Ruth's.
regular.
I like master.
Oh, I would love to stop at Ruth's Chris.
I want to
but-
know, and this time we're going to start with Kevin, and we're going to go to CJ next. Kevin, we're talking about convenience store franchises. 3 came to mind right away.
Oh.
Everyone's got to have
I've got a number one.
their jam. Kevin, number
Look,
1.
I'm just going to say it out loud. Historically speaking, my jam's a 7-Eleven because I'm a loyal dude. But the real deal is this.
Wait,
Wawa
You said
is my
7-Eleven.
answer. No, I didn't. I said
Okay.
I'm going to keep it real.
Okay.
It's Wawa by a long shot. It's Wawa, man.
Yeah, it's Wawa. The Wawa sandwiches.
So good.
Yeah,
the breakfast
subs
sandwiches,
or the sandwiches. They've
got it.
It's Wawa.
they're so
Over
good.
Sheets?
I actually.
I don't
yeah.
think it's close.
Yeah, it's not close.
Sorry
I
that
actually-
Sheets has way more porn.
I
Sorry.
actually
I love
ordered.
Sheets.
I actually ordered Wawa on Uber Eats about a month.
You
and a
can
half
you can
ago.
door Pat
Yeah,
Carreta
they have a-
DoorDashes
they have a
Wawa all
long-
the
You were
time.
Time
so
out.
lazy.
Time
you
out.
didn't
Time out.
go to the
Yes.
convenience store.
They
You
have-
had the convenience store brought to you. That's
I've got a
genius.
business idea. Please tell T, Patrick, and CJ.
Yeah.
I'm available to just go and get it.
Yeah, no.
Just call me. It's a text. Not you don't even need to download an app. There'll be no
I
service
know Rhett
charges.
Donnelly has DoorDashed some Wawa probably within the last 72 hours.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do they bring you a scratcher
you can get whatever you
and
want.
do you trust them?
Oh,
If not to
Not to look at it.
check the serial
You
code?
can get whatever you want. It's all. On.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
Guarantee
There's
you
one
Rhett
in
Donnelly
DC
is
now.
DoorDashed
There's
from
Wawa
Wawa.
in DC.
Now,
There's one
when I-
across from Gaithersburg High School as well.
I know, but the one in DC is the first one
I
ever.
know.
It's right at the Circle, and I was maybe 5 blocks away, and I Uber Eats it.
when I first saw you write that question,
Yeah.
the first and probably only, even though I don't think any exist anymore, highs.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
Dude.
See, I always thought the
Number
Did I
one.
just redeem my hoss?
Yeah.
Yes. It doesn't exist
It's
anymore.
straight Haas answer.
I think
because
Haas-
Haas didn't have all that food.
Slush puppies, though. They had slush
The
puppies.
slush
Slush
puppy.
puppies were ridiculous.
The best.
I always thought the slush puppy was better than the Slurpee.
Number one,
Absolutely.
without a
Yeah.
doubt.
1,000%
better
Right,
than
Representativesburg was 7-Eleven and Haas.
Yeah.
Half the
Raspberry.
baseball team went here, half went there.
We-
Specifically the raspberry.
Yeah, we used
Blue.
Yes. The best.
To, yeah, I was always I think it was the lime. I always liked.
Oh,
I think-
cherry.
We always went the lime and the cherry. Yeah, the Highs and Aspen Hill.
Well-
that was a.
Well, we weren't Aspen. We weren't putting tequila into
We had
ours.
one right
it was
here in
just a straight
K-Town.
lime
No, the Highs
or
and
a
Aspen
blueberry.
We had IGAs and highs down where I grew up down in
Highs
Southern
is
Maryland.
awesome,
but highs
dude.
is the best.
What's an IGA?
It's the same thing as highs.
Oh,
But also, Highs had a brand of ice cream. Also,
Yeah, they
that was
did.
the best. It was Highs ice cream.
yeah. I think it was
Always
like the
in my
mint chocolate
grandmother's
chip.
freezer.
Always.
Right next to Continental.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Highs ice
Pardon me.
cream.
Because there was a Highs right around the corner from the Continental, which is the new 7-Eleven.
Yes,
Next
that
to
was
the
a Highs.
Chipotle. That used to be my Highs.
That's right. That was your hood.
Here you go, Kev.
Yeah, there he is.
I'll take a freshie.
And
We're
it
talking
didn't
about
dawn on me
franchises.
until later in life. I'm like,
Gotta have a freshie for a
convenience store
franchise
named
discussion.
Highs. I wonder where the name of that convenience store came from. All right, so now we're gonna go back. Actually, I think it's my turn to lead off.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to say Can I grab some of that? Is there no ice left? We're ice. We're good. I don't need any ice.
We're going without
We're good.
ice.
We're good. Oh, dude, Kev, there's like a teeny bit of ice.
It's
over
like
there.
what the whiskey library guys said. Don't do ice.
No, you gotta do some ice.
It ruins the whiskey.
All right, so
Do an eyedropper of water.
movie franchises. I'm going to, because we live in the era of movie franchises. Man, are there some great ones.
You're not taking any off the board?
Let's take one off the board. Let's
No.
take Marvel off the board. Because I would choose
that wouldn't
it.
even be my number one.
That to me, I've lived it. I've loved it. It's the best, I think. But as far as movie franchises from our lifetime, I just feel like we can do better than Marvel because it's the easy one. So I'll say Star Wars
That would be my number one.
as a movie franchise. It was there for me from when I was 1 year old up until this very moment, and I love it, and it's amazing, and it is a Super Bowl champion on an annual
Greatest
basis.
trilogy of all time. The others
hold on,
may
hold on,
mar
hold on,
the
hold on,
franchise part of it.
So I think Empire Strikes Back is the greatest movie of all time as a standalone.
Right.
That's just what I think. But I think the franchise is great. T, you get to go number 2. Movie franchises.
I just said Star Wars.
No. I said Star Wars.
Now we can't repeat? What the
Nope.
hell happened
Nope.
to the
Hey,
fucking
no one
house?
else can say
Oh,
Hosses.
he said Waffle House. I'm with Waffle House. I'm out. It's a snake draft. Jesus, stop changing the goddamn rules.
Did you refill that? You refilled that.
I have
This
no
is
idea
why I
what
don't
just
drink
happened.
every
I can't believe you did
Tuesday.
All right.
There's
give
a
me
lot of true answers. I don't know how to decipher. How about just pick
All right,
a movie
I'll go
franchise?
Rocky.
Yeah, that's been on the board.
That's
Rocky
what I-
was thrown out by Greg
Yeah.
Martin. Was thrown out by a couple folks here on the
There
board.
goes Marvel.
What's your
There
favorite
goes
Rocky?
Star Wars, and there goes.
Oh, yeah,
Favorite
Rocky? There's a one.
It's one.
It's
and if
three.
it's
Gotta
not
be
one,
one.
if it's not
Not one
one,
for me.
But
then
three-
don't answer.
three is-
if it's not
Three.
one, I
Three's up
don't
there.
want to talk to you.
It's 2 for me.
Is it?
Yeah, I always thought Rocky.
We just
I
went
always thought
1,
Rocky
2, and
2
3.
was better than
No one
than
says
1.
4 or 5
No, it's one.
or 6.
Well,
How
it's
many
not-
are there now?
It's not 5, certainly.
Oh
That's
God,
last.
please.
Side question, real quick. Outside of Rocky and Rambo, name a good Sylvester Stallone movie.
Over the top.
Oh God, stop reading
I
Twitter.
said good.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger is a good
I
one.
said good.
Cliffhanger was great.
Do I get to answer the question yet before you ask Twitter's daily question about Sylvester
Sidebar.
Stallone?
Over the
I found it
top.
very
if you don't,
interesting.
It was all over Twitter yesterday.
I know, it was a good
Name
question.
another movie. I know your mustache is super creepy. I'm gonna go with.
What about
I know
Copland?
you guys are fired up. I'm going Godfather. I'm out.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
question.
great one.
Yes,
Okay.
good
All right.
call. Good call.
Vacation.
Vacation.
Another
Police Academy was
he's
pretty
gonna
great.
Another
Burger
good call.
Dad.
Police Academy. Oh,
It's not going to work, Russ.
just saw the original Police Academy 2 days ago.
That's the only one worth watching. Police Academy
good.
2 was average, but
Cops
Tell
on
T
Patrol.
Shaggin that. If it was
Cops
made in
on
the
Patrol.
80s, he will fight you.
Police Academy 2 was average.
I want to give
Horrible.
you guys.
It was horrible.
They
to
were
be
all
fair.
average,
Right.
but
No,
cultish.
Sorry,
no,
Ken,
Police
please.
Academy
No.
1 was
I just think it
exceptional.
had a lot to do with us going through puberty at that time and it being available from the
First of all,
movie
bro,
store.
you went through puberty in the late 70s, so I don't want to hear any shit
five.
out of you.
You've had that mustache for at least 38 years.
That's not true. That's not true.
It was thicker in the 70s.
CJ, best franchise that no longer exists retail-wise, and throw highs out of there.
So it can be any, like,
Anything,
restaurant-wise.
any retail franchise that no longer
Who's
exists.
next, me or T?
You.
I was a big fan of Shakey's.
Oh, Shakey's was so
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pizza, burgers.
So proud of you.
Shakey's was great.
Got to watch my dad drain some.
There
fancy
are
craft
none
beer.
like that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Show me a pizza parlor like that.
I actually read a thing about Shakey's like not too long ago.
First Amendment Shakey's.
couple of weeks ago, and they said I think it's apparently big in like Australia or something like it still exists.
Really?
But not in the U.S.
Not in
It's somewhere else.
Forestville by McNamara anymore.
Oh,
That's for sure.
Not in Gaithersburg, Quince Orchard with the Baskin Robbins around the corner. When the parents started getting toasty, someone would pass up a couple 20s so we could all go get some cones, give them some space. We
do you
all
got?
made it home all right.
got, Kev?
Man, that pizza.
What do you got?
Herman's.
Herman's.
Ooh.
Herman's Sports, yeah.
Let's buy our cleats. I get my
this is
cleats
every
there every
franchise.
season.
It was my everything.
Not just food.
Everything.
I guess
Everything.
anything. Which one? White Flynn? Is that the one?
Well,
you went to?
I'm Lake Forest.
Oh, it's
so
Lake Forest
G-Berg
Herman's. Yeah, yeah.
is my so Lake
That's
Forest
right.
Mall Herman's had everything. It was the big
Yeah.
one. You could go sit in a tent for
remember.
40, 45 minutes before someone told you to get out. Yes.
Herman's is a good one.
There's a lot of 5-second
There was
Frenchers
one in
going on at
Annapolis.
Herman's, but they also had great cleats, sporting equipment, like the first everything I got: mouthpiece, shin guards, helmet. Not that you didn't get a helmet at the local place, but to actually put one on. Herman's brought me everything I ever needed. After Shakey's and Herman's, this is a terrible spot to be picking third.
That's why you're picking third.
I can't. Was Tasty Quick a franchise?
I don't know.
A legal
Hot
team.
Shops? Was that franchise?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Hot Shops
Yes.
was-
Hot Chops
Hot
is definitely a
Chops.
franchise.
Yes.
You're going to say Hot Chops?
yes.
Because
Okay.
I don't think you can find one anymore, right?
John Tier took mine that I thought of immediately, which was Bob's Big Boy.
Oh,
I used to go to
that
Bob's
was the
Big
best.
Boy.
Bob's Big Boy was
And
But
awesome.
isn't
the-
Bob back? Isn't he
I
around
don't know
somewhere?
that he's back. I
don't
don't.
think he's gone.
Bob's Big Boy was pretty good. The one in again, that was the one
Ashland
in
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll give you one that the one that I was thinking about, which was it harkens back to an era where some of our people here don't have any real concept, which is Tower Records. When I was in like middle school and high
yeah.
school, and you would go to Tower Records, like albums dropped, and you went to Tower Records. They're like the movies came out, you went to Tower Records. I mean, it was
I agree.
We went
it
to,
was that you don't do that anymore.
But what CJ and I were doing in T around here, you were
Yeah.
down in Southern.
I was
we were
on
buying a disc or tape at.
Waxy Maxie's.
Waxy
He
Maxie's.
messed up the whole line,
Waxy
but he filled it in nicely.
Maxie's.
Same
Keep
goodies.
nice.
Oh yeah.
Buy a disc or tape at Sam Goody.
Sam Goody.
That's where I
Sam
got
Goody.
my
Sam Goody
business.
was
I think
good.
So
Sam Goody still
CJ
exists.
was Wheaton, Aspen Hill, Waxy Maxie's ran that.
Yeah.
I'm a Sam Goody guy.
Yeah.
Tower Records was down Southern. T and I were on the Sam Goody.
Yeah, I was
Errol's?
Right, Waxy,
I was
and you
a
should
Waxy
have been because you had the
Errol's.
best Waxy Maxie's in your
Errol's.
Yeah.
Errol's was good. They were Wheaton people. For a high-end restaurant, I never understood how this went away. Houston's. I mean, there's
Yeah.
still Woodmont Grill, but I don't understand why Houston's went away.
Because the guy who owned it, he got sued somehow by partners. That's why you have all these restaurants that are Houston's, but they're not called Houston's.
Well, they still have Houston's in like Florida. There's other parts of the country
Yeah.
where they are.
He
But
had to-
here, there used to be obviously Rockville, Bethesda, Georgetown.
Yeah.
And they were 2-hour waits
Rio.
every time. Mm-hmm. There was
Yep.
a Houston's in Rio.
I thought so because they had the
There was a
Woodmont
Hamburger
Grill.
Hamlet in Rio.
Oh, hamburger.
Oh, yeah.
There was a Houston's.
Ah,
in
No, it was Hamburger Hamlet.
Hamburger Hamlet, yeah.
It was Bethesda, Georgetown, and Rio. Yep, for Hamburger Hamlet.
For Hamburger Hamlet.
Hamburger
yeah.
Hamlet.
Yeah.
All
What
right.
a great restaurant.
Yeah.
Here's another franchise. The last one that I have on my list, and that's toy franchises. All right, and this, which
Toy.
kind,
I
yeah.
don't have any kids.
Oh, you grew up a kid.
Grew up a kid.
I think.
So we're just go with naughty Nancy's. You're good. You're good.
So I'll go
Garbage
first.
pail kids.
That's not a toy franchise. That's a card.
Dude, did
a
you
toy.
just go toy franchise?
Toy franchise. Transformers.
Well, it's pretty obvious. I'm going first. Lake Forest Mall.
No, I'm not talking about store.
I
I'm talking about
I
the
know.
toy.
I know. Oh, the actual.
Yeah, like
Oh,
Transformers.
I was going to go KB. I
Oh,
apologize.
KB was
I
great.
would've
Toy
gone-
Story.
But I don't know if they
Yeah.
had that down by
You were going to go
Oh, we
Toy
had KB.
Store. He's looking for more. That's
I'm
not really
talking about the
franchise,
actual
though.
franchise.
How can you say
Okay.
the Transformers
All
are a
right,
franchise?
I'm going first. I'm going to start it off this way. I ate it. I made it. I made funny stuff. Play-Doh.
There you go.
Play-Doh. I'm a big Play-Doh guy. I still play with it. Not just by myself, but whenever T comes over or whatever, it's fun.
Speaking of still playing with it, I have to go Hot Wheels, and they have gotten bigger and better with the monster trucks
Okay.
now. My
Yeah,
2-year-old,
they have.
You
Greg
kidding me?
Martin with the
Yep.
ground round.
I love
That's
it.
ridiculous.
What do you
Oh,
guys
it's
say, Jay?
G.I. Joe guy.
So-
does that still exist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course it
Play
does.
with- I don't know. Yeah,
The
G.I.
coolest
Joe.
thing about
Cobra?
G.I. Joe that I learned later in life was the show was designed to sell toys. So the whole idea behind G.I. Joe, and I know I've bored T with
You
this
don't think
before. already.
Transformers was the same way?
Well, no. If you go back and watch G.I. Joe, every single episode introduced a new character, and that character then became a toy that they sold.
Really?
And it was diabolical, and it was genius. They literally
Probably made my mom buy them all after every Saturday
show.
morning cartoon.
they walked into a room.
I always
and
got
they
the knockoff
created characters.
brand. I got the Transformer that turned from like a rock into a robot.
GoBots.
It wasn't a real. It wasn't a real Transformer.
Yeah, you always had like a fat dude at the bar that would like drive you home the next morning. It was a great toy.
That too.
Not like
All right, we'll wrap it up. We'll wrap it up with sports.
How do you not get fast food in there?
Let's do fast food. Best fast food franchise
Roy Rogers.
all time.
It's not even close.
The
Why?
most
Based
successful
on the strength of
is
their
McDonald's.
Well, most, yeah.
based on the
Everything.
best thing at Roy
Most
Rogers.
delicious.
What's your order?
Roy's.
What's my order?
Yeah.
at
How
Roy's.
much time do we have?
What's your order at Roy's?
I mean, right now, I'm still hitting the one up in the village, and it's a double bacon cheeseburger, a holster of fries,
Bing.
large Coke.
Bing.
I'm probably going to go 3-piece white and usually some mashed potatoes and gravy.
No golden
Can I give mine? Can I give
don't
mine?
know. Do it.
Mine is
Do it.
just
golden
a straight.
chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You're gonna get your chance.
I was asking him.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm so excited by this. Just a cheeseburger meal, holster fries, cherry Coke. We're going to go with the roast beef sandwich cheese
Yeah.
where I'm going to hit the fixins bar like a SOB. Then I
the
can't
cheese.
leave there without tasting that fried chicken breading,
Yeah.
whether it's a couple tenders or a white piece.
Yeah.
You can't leave without the burger, roast beef, chicken combo, and those fries are so underrated, second
Yeah.
only to McDonald's.
Oh, I think the fries are awesome. So you get cheese on the roast beef sandwich.
Of course I do.
See, I think
I
all
think
I would
roast,
get cheese
I
on-
think all
on
fast
my-
food
Never
roast
done
beef
cheese
is
on
very
that.
suspect.
Not Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers is
Wrong,
big.
erroneous. Show
Yeah.
some proof of
Fast
concept.
food and roast
Don't just
beef.
throw that out there.
I don't like it.
Roy Rogers.
You've never had a Roy.
preference.
They
You've had a
shave
Roy
it.
Rogers
I've had
roast
it.
beef.
I just something
not-
about
I'm gonna-
fast
I'm gonna
food
freak
roast
out.
beef
I'm gonna
doesn't
freak out on
sit well
T-Jack.
with
It's
me.
not like
Quick.
Arby's.
It's not.
better.
No,
It's
it's
not
Arby's.
like that.
And Arby's
can see
may
a
have
reflection
tainted
in
me
Arby's.
forever
Yeah,
for
it's-
all
it's-
franchises.
Arby's is terrible. They actually shave it right there.
Yeah, I think it shows up as a liquid. To be honest.
No, you're so wrong about Roy Rogers right now.
I'm not talking about Roy Rogers. I'm talking
about
Arby's.
We can all see. We can take a selfie.
I'm just
of
saying
a
it's
slab
a
of
preference.
Arby's
You
roast
can't tell me
beef
my
right
preference
now.
is wrong.
I don't think you have any experience in the Roy Rogers roast beef sandwich.
I just said I think Arby's tainted my fast food roast beef.
I think you just said tainted.
I did.
You did just say tainted.
With a straight
And no
face and a mustache.
And no one said Hardee's, and I'm a Hardee's guy. Always have.
Hardee's?
Are you serious?
I love Hardee's.
Come on.
Hardy, ha, ha, ha.
I'm so hungry.
I went there for breakfast every single day on the way to work. It's
30
my summer
people are
job.
about to pile into your car and speed
I
to the
love
One of our
nearest
best
party.
friends and your family bloodlines
was
is
decent.
named Hardee's.
The Hardy breakfast was amazing. All right, last franchise question before we get out of here tonight,
Thought you
and I'll let
just said
CJ lead us off, and that is the greatest sports franchise of all time.
What, I mean, is it like I get to pick on
Yeah,
my
you
favorite?
get to pick, and then this is no one gets to say the same thing. So you take one off the table.
Look at you in
I'm
your
not going to
purple.
pick the New York Yankees because I don't want to pick the New York Yankees.
New York Yankees are ineligible for
What's
this
the
conversation.
question? Is it a personal preference
Yeah,
or what-
absolutely.
No. A personal preference as a fan or as an objection? Like,
No,
are we
you get to
talking
pick
about?
your best franchise of all time in 2 or 3 sentences as to why you pick them.
All right.
You mean like just my favorite team?
No, franchise. Any sport, franchise.
Well, yeah, that was the same thing. Team franchise. I mean,
It's true.
No, but if you say franchise louder than all the other words,
Franchise.
If you say it more, it
Franchise.
changes its meaning.
If you say the word over and over again,
this is
then
like
it
Twitter
loses
came
all
to
meaning.
life.
Franchise.
No, but if I say
Franchise.
I mean, it's going to be the Washington football team. The Redskins are the
Okay.
best franchise that I grew up with because of the three. But I'm a massive Baltimore Orioles fan too.
I know you are.
And that franchise has a tremendous amount of history.
Yes, it does.
And
well, historically speaking,
yeah,
minus the last part of our recent history, they've been
there's-
phenomenal.
There's no doubt they haven't had.
when another team came into the region and is better.
Yeah, I mean they've had.
Well, no, but forget about that.
They've
No,
had
it
small
just
success, but they have a tremendous fan base.
Yep.
And a great city, a great ballpark, great Hall of Famers that are in there. So I don't know. That one's always near and dear. But how could
Okay, but they have the history and the trophies to back it up. Kevin, you no longer can pick the Washington football franchise. Who do you got?
as much as my ass got chapped when CJ said the Orioles, even though I understand and respect that, I hope that you all understand and respect this. I believe the greatest sports team coach in the history of my lifetime has been with me for damn near 45 years. And if Coach K ain't the GOAT, I don't know who is. I'm not going to fight you if you don't like him. I'm not going to fight you about it. My personal opinion. Man. Well, come on, man. You name someone else that's won more than him
Yep.
since
So
1980.
that's a sports franchise. Duke is an absolute sports
they won big
franchise.
today, huh?
And
They played the worst team in the universe.
who's that?
They played Boston College. Duke played today as a 10 seed against a 15 seed. It was
crazy.
not a barometer for passionate. But
So
you know
weird.
what? I love
So
it.
weird.
I don't care. I
know,
love
but
it.
it's just so
I love
weird.
my team. It's so weird that half
Yeah.
that 2/3 of my Duke fan base. My dad graduated from Duke. That's why I'm a Duke fan. Help me here. I embrace the losing.
me-
I embrace the
I've
youth.
given you a
I
lot of
embrace
shit over
this.
the years, but I don't hate you for it.
It's the
No,
most,
I embrace it. I like that my team's struggling. Maybe could be the underdog that could get in. I love that they get in there as a 10 seed if they win 3 games in the tournament. If they lose tomorrow, they're done. I'm
It's
cool.
it's a
This is
top-
how it is.
Top 5 building I've ever seen a sporting event in.
Me too.
I mean,
Me too. And, of
Haven't
course, I
done
have
it
that
yet.
feeling.
I need to do it.
oh, you got to do
Yeah,
it.
it's a high school gym, bro.
You got to do
It's
it.
a WCAC gym with Hall of Fame NBA talent in it.
So
Unbelievable.
our friend AGH, by the way, we have some faithful viewers from over in the United Kingdom.
Oh, we have some
He's in
serious
Wales.
business.
He's in Liverpool. They don't call him franchises over there, which so we appreciate that. Greg Martin, you're wrong. Obviously, neither the Steelers nor the Yankees.
It's the
are
Yankees,
the best.
dude. It's the Yankees.
Rhett Donnelly says Georgetown Prep Lacrosse. Greg Martin is a Giordano Chicago Pizza. We got some Checkers calls in here. Carl's Jr. I'm gonna say. I'm going to throw this out there since we're going to talk about hometown love affairs, and I'm not going to say Yankees or Steelers or anything like that. I would argue that on the basis of success, you could argue that the Washington Nationals just got here. I understand why you'd say that because you don't know that Washington had a baseball team, multiple iterations of a baseball team, and that in fact in past life, this town was really a baseball town. And when the Washington Nationals came back to the city, they were terrible. But they played at RFK, and there was just this magic about that we got baseball back, and that something was happening, and we were watching an organization grow the right way. The amount of success the Washington Nationals had in the short time that they've been reiterated as a baseball team and as a sports franchise is astounding. There's only 2 or 3 teams who've won more games than the Washington Nationals in the last 6-7 years. I think it's like the Cardinals, the Dodgers. I don't know if there's anybody else. That might be it. And we got a title. And we had one of the best World Series spectacles that you could have ever possibly watched. A 7-game thriller where guts and heart and it just won. And they were our guys. I'll throw them up there against any franchise. You would talk about franchises. I'll throw the Washington Nationals up there. What they've done is amazing, and they're winners. What do you got, T?
So, since you've taken a lot of my personal teams,
all the locals,
you have one that you.
But as a football guy,
the T13 franchise, you think so?
As a true football guy, who loves the history of the game and that football is life, I would have to say the Green Bay Packers.
You can't go wrong there.
There is so much.
What the hell's going on out here?
Lore and meaning in the game that came from the frozen tundra. When I think of black and white football, I think of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And also, who really hates the Green Bay Packers besides Chicago people? I don't think anybody. Does anyone hate the Green Bay Packers besides the Chicago Bears fans?
How are you going to hate on Cream City? There's cheddar cheese. There's creams.
What
else do you really need?
They were right up there for me, T. Green Bay Packers right up there for me. Absolutely.
That's a great answer.
It's the history of the game right there.
But you're right. No one really, unless you're from a NFC North, why would you hate?
You guys, it's been a lot of fun. We did a little. Kevin Ewald says the Florida Panthers. Obviously, he's going to throw them out there. AGH said AGH's dad's a big Green Bay Packers fan.
Nice.
Rhett Donnelly says, obviously, Knights of Columbus is an amazing franchise.
You know what?
That is an amazing
Rhett Donnelly and I love this man, and he's a brilliant dude, but every now and then, he's just so right. It's
I can't believe he didn't say DeMatha, too.
I thought he was going to say DeMatha, too.
No.
Kind of a franchise. But
definitely a franchise.
I was thinking about just saying
as a lawyer, he couldn't say DeMatha.
Yeah.
I was thinking about just saying Stevie and leaving it at that.
Yeah, I hear you.
I like that, too. I ain't going to lie. It's Tacoma Park, Montgomery County. Although
Maryland.
PG tried to take it with Kevin
Terp.
Durant's show. That's a Maryland Terrapin. Stevie Franchise is the franchise.
It is the franchise.
That's a fact.
We will be back in 1 week, and this week was Franchise Week. Next week is Free Agency on the horizon. It's legal tampering time. We'll talk about who we have joining the Washington football team, who we want, who's available. My guess is by the time we hit the air next Tuesday night, we'll have a little bit more clarity involved in our decision. More money that we have, where players. I'm guessing we'll know where some players want to go and where some players don't want to go.
Is it about to get weird?
It's always 1 minute before we finish tea. It's always about to get super
No, I
weird.
meant in the NFL. It's going to get weird here no matter
It's
what.
about to get weird, really weird here for sure.
But in the NFL.
Okay, well, the NFL's about to get weird too.
It is.
I do, because some guys are getting calls right now, and their agents will be like, "Hey, by the way, think you're going to get cut? That's the world we live in."
Yeah.
And the money's gone. It's going to get weird because players are going to start telling each other what they're being offered by multiple teams. They're all going to be working together. They're going to be signing 1-year deals. The promise of TV money is on the horizon, and no one wants to get locked into a low contract. Not that anyone wants to talk about contract structure, but the creative contracts you're about to see, if you give a crap about stuff like that, the people are going to be working overtime on contract creativity. CJ knows a little something about contract creativity. That's why he's wearing purple. We appreciate everybody tonight. He is Chris Johnson, Siege.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate having you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
He's Tim Strachan.
I felt like I got beat up a little bit tonight.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
You feel that, Hoss?
I mean, not by Chris, who's been a gracious guest, but these two effers to my left.
Let me think about this real quick. Is there anything happening for you
What do
when
y'all
I
think?
do this?
What do you? Write it in the comments.
Hey, T-Bird, just like Sheryl
Next
Crow,
week, y'all.
your spirit animal has always said the first cut is the deepest.
I actually think it's like got some sort of magic that we're going to have Minshew as our quarterback.
Okay. I like you're channeling it. And
I don't know. I just
And
You
you
feel
guys
it.
are going to rub Stash. Nice call, T-Bird. Great prediction.
don't notice there's been no physical contact with the mustache across this Maginot mustache line. He's Kevin Ricka.
And I'm going to tell you this. It's pretty cool to understand that there's over 100 years of friendship for me
Yeah.
on these two tables. I will never forget that. Every day's a better day to wake up. Every time I do, I thank God more. And I certainly thank God that this board, the best board anywhere, and these people that we're all hanging with here in Maryland, everyone, they said everything's going away. We're about to get to a new normal here sometime, someday. I can't wait for it to be with you guys, and I love that you get to see me being with my guys. 100 years of friendship across this 4-screen. That ain't no joke, man. That's pretty serious where we're from, and we love where you guys are from because you're here with us every Tuesday. Best board on earth.
right
Appreciate
on,
you.
Hoss.
Appreciate all you guys. Do us a favor if you're tuning in for the first time, subscribe to First Amendment Sports. It's free. You will get a notification, for example, on Saturday when we will be live covering high school football for the first time since last November. Been a long time. Appreciate everybody. Until next week, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was, thank God, it's Tuesday. We are still live.
Still live.
Night, y'all.
10 o'clock.
What's up, Hoss?